Good evening, esteemed colleagues, and welcome to tonight's session. For those who may not know me, my name is Dr. Miles Monroe, CPD coordinator at the Pharmaceutical Society of Kenya, and it is an absolute pleasure to moderate this anticipated session tonight as we wait on more of our colleagues to stream into the virtual room. For those of you who are here joining us in this rainy evening in Nairobi, I don't know what you have there. Personally, I have a cup of tea next to me. Maybe in the chat box you can type in what is your go-to beverage after a long evening during the weekend. Let's engage on the chat as we wait for more members to join in. Good evening, Dr. Sorej. Karibu sana. And Muthoni Kaminjuki, Dr. Christopher Netia. I see we have Alfaxad, Moses with Barista Coffee. Good evening from Thika. Patel also likes coffee. Oh, most of the people, Elius, black coffee is his go-to beverage. Immaculate bone broth. Yeah, maybe you can share with us the recipe. Muthoni with ginger tea. Do you have a cold? Jamila with spicy tea. That's lovely. I also enjoy tea a lot. Kennedy Opondo, strong coffee. For those who are just joining in, as we will be starting at 10 minutes past the hour. And just to set the mood for tonight's session, the question was, what is your go-to beverage after a long evening? I see Ogada likes OG. We have Norman with very plain milk. Yes, Kimutai. I like it. Dr. Merimeli likes porridge for this weather. I don't know whether it's raining or wherever you're joining us from, but on my end, it's raining very heavily. Awesome. Let's keep engaging as we wait for other individuals to join. Jasmila likes anime. I wonder what that drink is, or is it a show? Thank you, everyone who types in Supu ya Kichwa David Njenga. Interesting. Oh, camel tea. I've never had one. Maybe Soman, you can send one to me. Thank you, everyone. Um, Maybe I can give a small introduction. Yes, okay, Balozi T, Ken Abuka, thank you. Oshawa. Wow, today I'm learning there's so many kinds of teas. I'd love to try them all. Yes, so thank you everyone for joining once again. Remember, pharmacists, we are the most accessible healthcare professionals to the community. Patients walk to us and asks us questions. Some of them would come for counseling where we have to explain drug-drug interaction, maybe the label of a medicine or the clinical pharmacology of a substance. And tonight we are stepping out of that dispensary and we are looking at the human element of recovery. We'll have the privilege to host the Public Information Committee from AA Kenya. And I hope everyone can see my screen. So just a few ground rules before we begin the session. You will be muted during the entire course of this session. In case of any questions, we encourage you to use the Q&A tab that is available at the bottom of your window. And these questions will be addressed to our presenters tonight. And the event is open to everyone. It will be recorded and made available to our YouTube channel. The session is also CPD accredited. I will send all of you an email to subscribe once it's available on the portal. And I will also share tokens within 7 days. You are required to attend majority of the session to be eligible for CPD points. And you have up to 7 days from today to claim your CPDs through the PPB portal. The purpose of today's session is to bridge the gap between our clinical expertise and community-based recovery resources. We'll be looking at how understanding of the impact and signs of alcohol use disorder, and the vital role that AA plays in long-term recovery, and how we as healthcare professionals can collaborate with AA to provide a holistic pathway of hope and support to our patients, or even amongst ourselves. So at this point, I'd like to invite Elius, who is the chair of the PI committee for AA, who will proceed to introduce his team and our presenter. Then after that, we will have a short Q&A session. Again, I encourage you to use the Q&A tab, and then we'll be able to close. Karibu sana, Elius.
Thank you so much, Dr. Miles Monroe, and thank you for this opportunity, having AA join in and be part of this conversation. And I will go quickly. I'll introduce myself. My name is Elius. I'm a grateful recovering alcoholic, member of Alcoholic Anonymous, and the chair of the Public Information Kenya. So I'll quickly introduce the panelists and AA members. I know we are quite a number in this, so because of time, we'll only introduce the panelists, and I'll request Chris to come in, introduce himself.
Hey, Chris, a grateful recovering alcoholic, and I'm happy to be here. Thank you.
Thank you. David.
Good evening, everyone. I'm David. I'm an alcoholic. Grateful to be here.
Thank you. Eunice.
Hi, everyone. My name is Eunice, a recovering alcoholic, and happy to be here with you. Thank you.
Thank you. Wanjiko.
Good evening. My name is Onjiko, grateful recovering alcoholic, and I'm happy this event has come to pass.
Thank you so much. And before we begin, invite Chris just to start us off by telling us specifically what Alcoholic Anonymous is in a few minutes, just 2 to 3 minutes. Thank you, Chris.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Elius. My name is Chris, as acknowledged before, and I'm hoping in the Q&A, you will ask us why we are using that word compared to what has been used to introduce the webinar. And we do have an answer for that. So yeah, so Alcoholics Anonymous is a fellowship of people who come together to help to stay sober, to help each other stay sober. And, our primary purpose is to pass the message to the next suffering alcoholic. So as a fellowship, we come into a place which is non-judgmental, and it's not just, you'll hear about Alcoholics Anonymous meetings, but there is the program of Alcoholics Anonymous. And because this is Googleable information, you'll find something called the 12 Steps of Alcoholics Anonymous, which are the steps of recovery. Because recovery is really a process that does not have, as far as I'm concerned, an end until the end. So that's what it is for now. Thank you.
So much, Chris. Thank you for that brief introduction and overview. And so our format is we'll have two of our members just giving us a glimpse of their experience, strength, and hope. And after that, I will share a PowerPoint in a few minutes. That is 10 minutes. Then I'll share PowerPoints in 10 to 15 minutes, and then we'll have the Q&A. So I'll request our first speaker just to give us the experience, strength, and hope, so that we can just get to know where we are or where we are. Well, thank you. So I request David to come in. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Elius. Please remind me when my time is almost up. David, once again, grateful recovering alcoholic. When I heard about this PI, I was intrigued because I am from the healthcare fraternity, a doctor by profession, and I have been for quite some time, even during my using days. So I'll just give you a brief summary of how it was, how I came to find AA and my experience with AA and how my life is now. So for me, I never thought drinking was a problem. It was something all my friends did, even from campus days. It was, in fact, among my group of friends, and I used to think like everybody drinks just like me. I actually used to think like people who don't drink have a problem. So among my group of friends, it was more about not being a light drinker, like that's a person who was shunned upon. This one can't handle his drink, or you drank very little, or something like that. And my weekends were all about drinking. I thought that's what everyone used to do, anyone who was cool or knew what they were up to. So that's how my life was. And this happened for so many years that it was just so normal for me. And my wife told me that I'm an alcoholic. And I told her, there's no way I'm an alcoholic. No way I'm an alcoholic. If you looked at me from the outside, you just see a doctor who has a good job, married, goes to work, barely misses a day of work. You just see a normal person. You just assume everything is okay. But actually, my life was kind of like, it was like a split personality. There was a person I was during the weekday, which was a law-abiding citizen, doing their work, family man. But then on the weekend, it's like another version of me used to turn up, rowdy, uh, drinking and doing all sorts of crazy things. And Monday, I reset again. So, after the hangovers, which sometimes used to last up to like Tuesday. So, I was so sure I was not an alcoholic. I mean, for me, an alcoholic was somebody who is picked up from Amtaro in the morning with one shoe missing, then, finds their way home, looking homeless. To me, that was an alcoholic. So me, how can you tell me I'm an alcoholic? Me, I have a wife, I have a car, I have a home, I have a good career. So it was very hard for me. However, as time went by, and it was during COVID times, I used to tell my then partner that no, I drink because of my friends. Uh, so during COVID, something strange happened. Now my friends were not there. Remember those mutuzolos where you couldn't drink past a certain time? So for the first time in my life, I realized, oh, okay, so I actually don't need my friends to drink. And even when my friends are not there, I actually have to drink. That was a very interesting realization. When I crossed that box, the next thing I said was, okay, maybe it's the type of alcohol because, we were, according to my friends and all the alcoholic wisdom was wine is the lightest drink and so on and so forth. So I moved from spirits. I started drinking wine, but still the same thing happened. When I started drinking, it's very hard for me to stop. And I always stop without my control and things go out of control. So eventually I tried changing brands. I started getting blackouts. Some of them, they're wake blackouts where maybe you drive home, you don't know how you arrived once or twice, which really scared me. So I started changing brands because when like a blackout happens, I was like, okay, that day I was drinking gin. Gin is a problem. So I stopped drinking gin. I moved to something else. And the result was always the same. In fact, it even reached a point I was like, "Hey, maybe nakiwa mchele kwa club, it's not that the alcohol is bad." But one day I got into an accident, car that was over 3 years ago. In fact, it was raining just like tonight, but it was a Sunday. 3 a.m. on Sunday, raining. I've crashed my car, and it was the first time I got a car accident. After that, I was like, Apana, there's something going on here. That's when my wife told me, now you have to go to, you have to stop drinking. If you don't stop drinking, I'm gone. So I obeyed. I don't know where she found AA from. Me, I didn't even know about AA. She took me there, and I stuck to it because now I didn't want things to go bad. So I stuck in AA. Still, I'm not convinced I'm an alcoholic. About maybe 2 months or so, that's when I started realizing, because I was listening to people's stories. Their stories are just exactly like mine. You know, the way a disease has a pattern, this happens, this happens, this happens. If you listen to alcoholic stories, you will see your stories so clearly, so many times, so consistently. People of different ages, races, origins, everything, just the same characteristics. So eventually one day, and of course, just knowing that information is not enough. But after attending for several times, eventually I was like, I eventually realized I'm an alcoholic. I actually hadn't gone to stay in AA. It just dawned on me that, oh my gosh, I'm an alcoholic. These people are just like me. I thought I was just unique, but we were all the same. So I stuck to the program, and during the program, I realized that actually the problem was not even with alcohol. The alcohol was actually what? A cure. What can I, not a cure, but something that helped the disease. You see? So my actual problem was not the drinking. Alcohol was actually the solution to my problem. And what was my problem? My problem was fear. My problem was dishonesty. My problem was selfishness and intense variations of all these, which are just part of my character traits. And to deal with these things, I had developed the need to use alcohol to deal with them, which is like a shortcut and healthy way of dealing with these things. Because during my drinking days, I had numbed my emotions. I couldn't really feel anything, like pain, anger, disappointment. All those things were taken care of by alcohol. So when I
Sorry to
stopped
cut you. Still
drinking,
have 3 minutes. Thank you.
three
Sorry.
minutes.
Okay.
All right. So when I stopped drinking, these things came in like a flash. Like for the first time in my life, I started feeling emotions that I guess other normal humans feel. And they were so difficult, they were so painful. And I understood why I used to like drinking. But you see how drinking now had gotten me to a place where it was almost going to kill me. In fact, I like something an AA person once told me that alcoholism is like a train going to hell. And where you are light, the sooner you are light, the better. Because eventually it is a progressive disease. It just keeps going and getting worse and getting worse. And eventually it kills you. It kills so many people. In fact, I came to learn that many of the stories you see in the newspapers, usually somebody killed someone or someone killed their family or burned their wife or burned their family. If you dig deeply, you'll see maybe alcohol was involved. Anyway, my life now is so much better. I have learned more healthy ways of coping with my life than alcoholism. Actually, I celebrated 3 years 1 month ago. 3 years sober. Before I could not go past 3 months by my own uh, use, by my own efforts. But with AA, by God's grace, actually it's by God's grace. Every day, one day at a time, I have actually counted 3 years, and it's not my own doing. It's the fellowship of AA. Anybody who feels they have a problem with alcoholism, I would encourage you to just try. Just go. It is the most non-judgmental place. The first day I arrived there, I felt like I belonged. Nobody judged me. Outside there, when I would stop drinking for 3 months, I'm looking for people to celebrate. People are like, first quit for forever, then we'll celebrate. But I went to AA, you've done 1 month, people clap for you. And it was just a good community. So me, I'll just say AA works. It has given me the life I always dreamed of all those things that I thought alcohol could give me, I have gotten them and more. And I'm living the best version of my life. And yeah, I thank God for this fellowship, and I wish you all a good evening. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that experience, strength, and hope, sharing it with us. And thank you for that. Because we'll go directly to our second speaker, that is Eunice. Please come in.
Hi, I'm Eunice, a grateful recovering alcoholic. My story does not differ from what the previous speaker shared, but I'll try to give a sneak peek into what my experience has been like. My drinking career started long before my professional career. I started drinking way back in high school because it was cool, and also to survive. I didn't realize it at the time, but going to school gave me so much anxiety, and I grew up around parents who would enjoy the daily drink, and so it just became a normal habit for me. Before I knew it, I was in campus and skipping class, but keeping my grades up, and yeah, by the time I was working, it was not only the typical drinking every weekend, it now spiraled. And slowly, before I knew it, it was every day. And for me, it wasn't a problem, as typical. That for me, an alcoholic was someone who had messed up in life, didn't have a job, sleeping in the gutter, the typical, the picture that comes to mind. And at the time, I remember I had a good job. I was getting promotions. I was doing my masters. Life I was on the fast track. And life was good. So I did not believe I had a problem. Then came around COVID time, and I remember having so much anxiety, being promoted. I had just been promoted when COVID hit. I was a manager, and here we are in healthcare. And you have to give answers. What do we do? People are looking to you for answers, and you don't have the answers. You have to study and deal with these changes as they come and all these news. And how did I manage my anxiety? I drank some more. And it stopped being an every day after work affair to slowly creeping in. I had to leave work to go drink to be able to just get through an afternoon of work. And slowly, this is a progressive disease. And before I knew it, again, I'd sneak off work, go to the bar, start having my bottle. No, I'd even have my bottle kept for me, go back to the office, go back later in the evening to continue the next day, so on and so forth. But work-wise, I was excellent. I'd be at work by 7 in the morning, long before 8 a.m. By the time the day shift is starting, I already know how the whole night has been, how my staff has been, if there are any issues that need to be sorted. Eunice was there bright and early. And yeah, that convinced me that I had everything in control. I was a perfectionist. My work was great. And before I knew it, and I keep saying before I knew it, I'll try and control it. Before long, I told my PA to stop, to never schedule any meetings for me in the afternoons. And that way, my work day shifted to being half a day. And my afternoons would end up being, quote unquote, out meeting clients. And I started skipping work too, because I just could not leave the bar. For some reason that I could not explain to anyone, the moment I got to the bar, now this time I just couldn't leave. And yeah, that went on until it got to a point where my work was getting in the way of my drinking. And believe it or not, I quit my job. And I just couldn't. It got to a point I just needed, the drink is all I wanted. And yeah, I stayed home, and all I would do from morning, by midday, I'd be so blacked out, like done, asleep. And that went on till got to a point I just realized that was not the life for me. you know. I was going in the opposite direction. When everyone around me was going forward, I seemed to be all of a sudden someone who had a very impressive CV had given up, and so I realized I needed to do something. So I checked up not AI. We just went and Googled, "Is drinking every day a problem?" And there was one of the websites had this questionnaire of about 20 questions, and they're like, if you answer these questions and if you answer any of this, yes, then you have a drinking problem. And I almost got a perfect score. Surprise on me. And yeah, so I joined AA. Thanks, Elias. I went and I also Googled and found a meeting near me. And I walked into one of those rooms and I told myself, I'll go one day. If it doesn't work, I will walk out. And I'm grateful to God because I walked into a room over 500 days ago and I have not touched a drink since. And I keep going back. It's a wonderful space. I've come to realize a lot. I am happier. I have more empathy. I am relaxed. I am productive. Before I was busy. Now I am productive. And yeah, it's just one day at a time. And yeah, just enjoying life, loving life, and loving whatever God is bringing my way. It's one day at a time. And yeah, this is a safe space, and we are happy to help. And yeah, I don't think I can add anything more to that. If you have any questions, we'll be here to answer them. Thank you.
Thank you so much once again for that experience, strength, and hope. And yeah, again, just to recap that, just as I bring my screen up. Thank you. Very patient. Thank you. As I bring just recap that, and so again, so what is AA? And just to give us a brief definition of what AA is. It's found in the Alcoholic Anonymous preamble, like an overview. So, is Alcoholics Anonymous is a fellowship of men and women who share the experience, strength, and hope with each other, that they may solve their common problem and help others to recover from alcoholism. Again, the only requirement for membership is a desire to stop drinking. So it doesn't curtail or prevent anyone. As long as you have a desire to stop drinking, you're free to join this AA. There are no dues or fee for a membership. Again, it's a free program of fellowship and self-supporting through our own contributions, which means it doesn't expect or depend on any other outside entity. AA is not allied with any sect, denomination, politics, organization, or institution. Does not wish to engage in any controversy and does not neither endorses nor opposes any causes. So the primary goal of AA and the primary goal is to stay sober and now reach out to other alcoholics to achieve help each other to achieve sobriety. And how they help each other to achieve sobriety is to reach out like the way they are reaching out today. Any member or anyone outside there who's struggling and is needs help. So sorry, let me just okay, thank you. Why the healthcare professional? Why is cooperating or getting in touch with the healthcare professional? And just a few points that we've noted, and because as in the healthcare department, as any other department, alcohol issues and alcoholism really affect the performance of staff, and there's also increased absenteeism, lateness, and performance that has been observed. There's high level of sick leave and reduced fitness in many workplaces, heightened health and safety risk, and straightened teamwork. Alcohol-related incidents are a lot, and many sectors, of course, view alcoholism as a costly burden due to the expenses, such as the rehabilitation costs. And so our goal in terms of the AA and cooperating with the health profession is the primary goal is to help other alcoholics in the health department and just to achieve sobriety. Those who are struggling like us and with alcoholism, collaborate also with the healthcare providers to actively guide patients with alcohol use challenges toward Alcoholics Anonymous. Other goals would be we also provide literatures and pamphlets that speak of AA. We can act as confidential contact points for employees and also establish working relations with AA local meetings. And I'll just touch on this as the end. So AA, just as a simple background, and it started in 1935 in the US, and currently AA has over 2 million members in more than 200 nations. There are more than 123 AA groups around the world. So AA groups just the local meeting setups where AA members meet. AA started in Kenya. It started in 1971 in a single meeting in Nairobi. The first Kenyan to achieve sobriety through AA was in 1974, and today we have more than 60 physical meetings in Kenya, and we also have at least 3 online meetings every day in Kenya. How does AA work? And this is how AA views and we view alcoholism. We view alcoholism as a progressive illness. We see it as a threefold condition. That is, it affects the physical, the mental, and the spiritual part of me. We believe that alcoholics overtype and have lost the power to control their drinking. And we believe that AA and the 12 steps, the 12-step program of recovery works to overcome the condition. And the spiritual Alcoholic Anonymous is a spiritual program in the sense that as an alcoholic, alcohol became everything for me. I became dependent on alcohol, and it became like the spiritual aspect of me. And so once I took alcohol, once I sipped alcohol, that mental obsession really was very strong for me. The mental obsession took me to drinking, and that mental obsession I would even want look for where I can get the next money, the next cash, steal just to get the next high. Once I took alcohol, there's the physical part of it, the craving that it leaves me with it. I'll crave for more and more because one is not, 1,000 is not, they say 1,000 is one is too many, 1,000 is not enough, and that's the how AA views alcohol. And so what is an AA meeting as we've had? So we as AA Alcoholic Anonymous uses meetings. Members meet in a meeting setup. Group members get together once or twice a week. There is something called a closed meeting. Closed meetings where members who think they have a drinking problem, that's it's closed meetings, so that they're the only ones who are allowed in such a meeting. But we also have open meetings where anyone who is interested in AA is welcome to attend. And then in such meetings, you'll find psychologists, you'll find a physician, you'll find family members who come just to understand what alcoholism from the shares and the experience of AA members. And each meeting is completely autonomous, and so they vary in terms of how they conduct each meeting so that they don't influence each other. And each meeting is self-supporting in the sense that they don't accept any funding or money from any other organization, so that they're not swayed. The sole purpose remains to help the still suffering alcoholics by not inviting any other aspects of money or anything else. As it has been said, we use the 12-step program. There's a recovery program for living alcohol free. For example, the step 1, which states the admission that being powerless of alcohol and that our lives had become unmanageable. So that's, for example, step 1. And its principles are based on actual recovery experience of early members. It's an ongoing program which we choose to continue to follow throughout our lives. And that a question has always arose is why after I've gotten sober, I still go to AA meetings. And yeah, it's because it is being a sick person. It's like someone who's a diabetic still uses can still go for the insulin injection. So such sort would be a simple answer. The A12 traditions, there's also the 12 traditions help members to stay within the rooms or safely to maintain their safety, their anonymity, so that their privacy within the rooms. These are suggested principles to ensure uh, 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 the survival and growth of groups and A as a whole. Examples is like the tradition 11. There are 12 traditions. So the tradition 11, for example, our public relations policy is based on attraction rather than promotion. We need always maintain personal anonymity at the level of press, radio, and films, and that for that reason you'll rarely find members their faces on press, radio, and films, because we AA believes in attraction, and so that the ego part of it, we use that to address the ego part of it and remain so that what we do, what members do, what we share, what the service we do attracts and helps others to see that the program is working, rather than pushing it on the press and radio and films. And tradition 12's anonymity, the spiritual foundation of all our traditions, ever reminding us to place principles before personalities. So that's another example of traditions. And as I wind up, um, who can join AA? As I said, the only requirement for membership is a desire to stop drinking. Anyone who has a desire to stop drinking, struggling with alcohol, is welcome to join Alcoholic Anonymous. And how much does it cost? It's a free program. There are no dues or fees for a membership, and it's self-supporting in terms of through their own contributions. No funding from outside is accepted. And I touch on an Al-Anon program, a sister program. As AA started, also the family members, and they say they've also get affected with that, with me, with my drinking. They got affected, parents get affected, and so an Al-Anon program was started to help the family members. So Al-Anon is a worldwide fellowship or a recovery program for the families and friends of alcoholics, and it supports a recovery for friends and family members affected by someone else's alcoholism, offers a safe community where members share personal experiences, they learn coping strategies and find comfort through mutual understanding. And just, for example, there's a basic thing, terms called the three C's. A person, for example, you didn't cause it, you can't control it, and you can't cure it. That's one thing that family members get to understand, that for me, even if unless I get to handle accept my problem, my parent or my sibling needs to understand that they didn't cause it. They can't control my sickness as an alcoholic, and of course, again, they can't cure it. It's the three C's of Al-Anon that guides them and helps them just to stay with me as an alcoholic. How can we help? And this is where we come in now as AA, and in terms of cooperation with the healthcare. We can be point of contact for any employees or employees dealing with the still suffering alcoholics, and this we do anonymously, because as the second word says, Alcoholic Anonymous, it implies we and members remain anonymous or private. And I cannot say this person is an AA member. Only they themselves can say. I cannot tell or inform anyone that this is an AA member or any, such sort. We can speak at any event organized by the health department when invited. We also offer literature and posters where available. They are available upon request, and can be displayed in the notice board. And we also explore opportunities to start a meeting within healthcare facilities. And with this, for example, in Avenue Hospital Thika, we conduct every Saturday 9 a.m. 9:20 a.m. to 10:20 a.m. It's an open meeting where anyone comes in, can come in and join and know how it's conducted. There's also plans with Madare referral hospital that is ongoing. It's on the advanced stage of starting a meeting within the facility, and in many other healthcare facilities, there are meetings where AA has been given space. We also in return give back in terms of a token for that space, so that we don't become dependent or need or controlled in the end, so that it's it's just a cooperation with the facility. So just as I wind up, so help for the alcoholics in the workplace. We have an helpline, helpline number for anyone who's struggling with alcoholism. You can reach out through the AA official number. We also have a website, an active website, and through this website, you can access the meetings we are saying, over 60 meetings. They are where they are, up to the pin where you will find them. There are also links to online meetings, the 3 meetings per day, 7 days a week. You'll always get at least 3 meetings. There's a password on that, and a Zoom link to each end of those meetings where you can, for anyone struggling, can access them. And you can also send an email or inquiry if you need any engagement in cooperation, and anywhere you wish any more information, you can reach out through the email provided. And yeah, that's all. And thank you so much for allowing me just to share that presentation. I will go. Well, I'll stop there and invite. We'll go to this the question and answer, this question session. If we'll have any question, let me first of all invite our host, that is Dr. Miles. If there's anything before we go to the question and answer session.
Hello. Thank you so much, Eliud. Dear esteemed colleagues, we are at the Q&A session now. Thank you for the presentation, and the stories were actually very moving. And I see we've already had a few questions on the Q&A tab, even responded. So at this juncture, I'd like to encourage any individual with question. The Q&A tab provides an option for you to anonymize yourself also, so we can make use of the Q&A tab to ask questions. But meanwhile, we have some what do you call it? Charles Opondo says that was a very fantastic presentation. Emmanuel Colgat was informed by the presentation, which is good. Felix says very good. This is to the PI team of AA. Great presentation from Mario Nyango. So at this juncture, members, if you have any question, feel free. You may speak up or type in the chat box. I'm not sure that the Q&A tab is visible on your end, but when you check at the bottom, you should be able to see a place to type in your question. And as we continue from the initial testimonials we got, one of our anonymous attendees says, sometimes it's difficult to understand how alcohol can have such a hold on a person, and praises God for both your recoveries. Then there was a question on availability of facilities that accept civil servants to cover for detox. I see Dr. Ivy says visit Chiromo Hospital Group. And then Elius, we have an inquiry to share the AA meetings online program. Maybe you can share with us and we will disseminate to all the attendees. And there is a question by another anonymous attendee where they can get the big book. So maybe you can take that as we wait and see if we can get any more questions.
Thank you so much, Dr. Miles, and for the question on where you can get the big book. The big book is available via. We have our literature representative. So maybe I can share our details so that you can make an order. But it's available, the big book, on any number we'd want, just on order. It's 1,000 bob, 1,000 shillings for a piece, the big book. So I'll share the details on how you can order the big book, and it can be delivered to anywhere you are, whether in or any part of the country. The delivery is now on the one of the buyer's cost, but the price is 1,000. And just to I'll request Chris if you can answer the question, just to in terms of detox, and just to add to what I'm going to say is that we in terms of professional, we regard ourselves on amateur on that side. We don't discuss on anything to do with the professional part of it, or the medical part of alcohol, as we use our experience in terms of only our experience, strength, and hope in terms of enlightening and us and any other member person out there struggling with alcohol. And so we wear that cape of the amateur in terms of the aspect of professionalism and that. Thank you. So
Thank you, Elius. I see David is typing an answer. Maybe the question is AA only for people wanting to quit alcohol, or is it also for those who are addicted to other drugs like cigarettes? Can they join as well in order to quit on the same?
that's a good question. And Chris, are you in a position to answer that question?
Yeah, you will see somewhere it's written, our primary purpose is to stay sober and help other alcoholics to achieve sobriety. So we keep the main thing as the main thing. But that being said, there are now several of what we call 12-step fellowships. So there's Narcotics Anonymous, but as Alcoholics Anonymous, why it's important to remain to talk about alcohol and our problems that we had with alcohol was from experience of that from 1935 is that addiction is a very human condition. Yeah. And I suspect that many of us, if not all of us, are doing something we should not be doing, or we should be doing something, we should start doing something that we are not doing. It could be, cut down on sugar or whatever, or start exercising, or, just get something. But you can imagine if AA as a fellowship was to take care of all that, we will lose the primary purpose aspect. Does that mean somebody who has another issue other than alcohol is not welcome? Not really. But we'd like that when they do come in is to identify with what the members are what they're sharing, when they share their experience, their strength, and their hope. So we keep it, Alcoholics Anonymous. The beauty about that it's not a monopoly on all addictions is that now there are other 12-step fellowships that cater for all sorts of addictions, all sorts, and I mean all sorts. I hope that's a helpful answer. Thanks.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
you can go
Elias,
on.
you may proceed. Yes.
Thank you. There was a question again on a request. One of us again, is the aim of AA to stop drinking completely? Are there those patients who have successfully beaten the addiction and continue alcohol moderately? And maybe just to touch on this is for me as an alcoholic and for AA members, and what I came to understand is that once an alcoholic, there's no day to sit down and drink like a normal person. The simple answer is that I lost that privilege to drink like a normal person. I lost the privilege to sit down and maybe after 10 years and say that maybe I stayed sober and now I can go back and drink a beer, because it will pick me from where I stop. And that's the problem with alcohol. It will pick me from where I stop. And from experience that I've seen those who end up losing the journey once they pick up. So the condition it's like living with a a condition for the rest of my life. So there's no day I will say that Elias is going to drink like a normal person, and maybe just someone else can. Chris, your hand is up. Thank you.
Yeah, just to add on to that, the model of AA is about abstinence, and it's about avoiding the first drink. Because like Elias shared in his presentation, is that one drink is too many for an alcoholic, and 1,000 are not enough. So that abstinence is the philosophy. So drinking in moderation, as far as AA is concerned, is not a thing. Yeah, it's not a thing, because we say, because the first drink is not necessarily the first bottle or the first glass, it's really that first drop that enters the mouth. And we have found, like all of us who are here today, that it works wonderfully and miraculously.
Thank you. Thank you for adding to that, Chris.
Elius, there are a few other questions that are streaming in through the chat, and even as we continue, Moses, thank you. Moses updates that they have a pharmacist that supports them at Thika Mat Clinic every Thursday. There's a question from Storage on whether the alcoholics get help from counselors. Would you be in a position to respond to that, and whether I know you had mentioned there's not much of the clinical, but whether SHA covers for rehabilitation services and detox? Do you have any information on that?
Okay, thank you, Dr. Miles. I would request someone else to take that. Moses, are you here and you can take that question? If not, okay.
So I'm not sure what question Ivy is responding to. Ivy, is it on whether SHA covers for rehabilitation services or on whether alcoholics get help from counselors? Are you in a position to unmute maybe and give us a little bit more information? I have allowed you to speak if you can, just to encourage discussion. For more information, I know someone was looking for something also. Ivy, are you in a position to speak? Okay, no problem. But yes, Steve. No, that was from Soreg. Yes, alcoholics can get help from counselors, and SHA is able to cover for both. Okay, awesome. Any other questions? Meanwhile, as we continue, maybe beyond questions, you can type in maybe what you've learned, or how you think the session went. And yeah, we have a few minutes before we close off. And maybe, Elius, as we wait on this, I could give you this opportunity to give a few closing remarks.
Thank you, Dr. Miles again, and thank you for the SK and the leaders and on your panel. We really appreciate the opportunity for you to have Alcoholic Anonymous and to getting to listen to the experience, strength, and hope, opening. They say for us, it begins the willingness just to hear what the willingness to hear from our experience and to understand. So that's where the understanding begins, and so we really appreciate that. And as we interact with fellow with our colleagues and also patients, us is just to encourage that there's a solution. There's a solution for those who are struggling with alcohol problems. For me, I found a solution in Alcoholic Anonymous. which has helped me stay sober. So for anyone who'd have a family member, a relative, or anyone who would want, or aftercare after rehab, where they would want to go to, and that's what we are working on to establish, so that once individuals or anyone would leave a rehabilitation center, they can get somewhere or fellow alcoholics to interact and to be with, and maintain their sobriety, because it is a gap that we've noted exists, especially after members have left the rehabs and the treatment facilities. So with that, thank you so much for having us.
Thank you so much, Elius, for that. And even as we close off, thank you, Francis, for the good words panelists. And we have a thank you from Dr. Rabin and Yeka. And on behalf of PSK, we are truly grateful to AA for bringing this vital conversation to the Pharmaceutical Society of Kenya. I mean, some of us, we've learned about the path to recovery. This is your last chance in case you have any burning questions as I proceed with just a few announcements, which will be very brief. As we all know, we'll be having our annual scientific conference on the last week of June. And at this point, we are at the late bird tickets. You have until May 31. I promise you, on-site tickets will be pricier. So we encourage you to register mapema. And
Hi, Dr. Miles.
there is, yes.
So just as you wind up, there's a hand by a member. I don't know how you proceed with that, but someone has raised. Thank you.
We have someone. Okay, let me just check. Okay, just a moment. Faith Mwangangi. Okay. Faith, you may speak. Is it an old hand or is it a current hand? Faith, I have allowed you to speak, so feel free to interrupt me at any moment once you unmute. Yes. So as I was saying, the registration process is very simple. Just visit our portal, click register. It's as easy as ABC. In case you encounter any challenges, feel free to WhatsApp our number. We have an exclusive content creation bootcamp, especially for the young people or those ones who are interested. It will be happening on the 30th and the 31st of May. The tickets are 1,000 shillings. Extremely very limited slots available. So this is an event by the young pharmacists together with Hack House. And just a few. Faith, are you ready to speak, or was it an old hand? See, you've disappeared just so I don't. What is it called? Just so I don't. Zuilia. I don't know the English word for that. And there are a few surveys that go around. Maybe if you have your device, take a moment, take a screenshot of this QR code. We want to know you. It's a campaign. We want to see where you are. What do you do? Fill us in by scanning this QR code. And also, there's an ongoing initiative by AfriDigiTrade with PSK where where if you have someone abroad and you intend, or someone wishes to send you money for treatment, it's a very nice initiative. Our current target counties are Nairobi, Kiambu, Kajiado, Meru, Mombasa, Kisumu. We'll be sharing it out on our platforms. Engage with the link to learn more. Then we are pre-qualifying our suppliers for 2026-2028 fiscal years. Scan this QR code in case you intend to provide a service to us at any point. Just a reminder that we have a partnership with Kenya Institute of Public Health, as a member, you have what is it called? A discount as a PSK member. So check out this information on our channel. And then, are you willing to partner with us? Do you wish for visibility use at our conference? Here's some information, but feel free to email finance@psk. So we are a team, and participate. That's right. Thank you too. Thank you everyone for making time to attend this session. And once again to AA, we are truly grateful for you tonight. And this session will be made available on our YouTube channel. And unless there's any burning questions, I will be ending the session now. Good night, everyone.